Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Hey, Timo, Ritu, Ronan. What's up, Espel? How you doing? Well, back and forth, back and forth. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, wherever we find you. Hey, forget about it. What's going on? Thanks for your patience this morning, my friend. Ugh. Hey, Johnny, what's going on? What's up, Tibby? How are you? Good afternoon. Welcome and happy Monday. As the King of Queens would say, we've got some rotation. Hey, Anne Marie, how are you? Good to see you. Good to have you with us. Well, folks, uh, the big news is the Saskatchewan Roughriders won the Grey Cup. So you'll have to excuse me. I've been up pretty much all night because I'm in the UK. So haven't really been trading. Been watching. And hey, it's been 12 years since we won the last one. And even though the weather is cold, it's where I grew up, and you got to watch, right? So very happy for my brothers and sisters back home in Canada. Here we have rotation. Hey, Jem, what's up? So we've got some nice rotation. Definitely is Anne Marie. Hmm. We are in the single prints of Friday. Now, Friday we got some folks short, just under 46. And the next short position's down there at 27, 67.46 and 67.27. That's what those green boxes are on this TPO chart. Now, before I go pontificating about single prints, I want to show you something on this 4-hour chart. You see, we keep looking above the top and failing, looking below the bottom and failing, looking above the top and failing. And then here, no look below. So we didn't take out 60, but we rotated back up. And just around this 67.81, that's where the sellers kind of come in. It's sort of the middle of the range, right? So we're just kind of going back and forth here. Now this market, we're coming up on something you guys want to remember this. And you're right, Anne-Marie, where we grew up is always close to our hearts. I've got a really good Saskatchewan story later, but let's get through the market. because it's something that should be said. This rotation is the larger, well, time frame and size participants. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to work out their their positions before the end of the month. Now, here's the thing. We have a bit of an interesting situation coming up next week. We have the Thanksgiving holiday, which is Thursday. So everything is closed on Thursday, which means there's no clearing. Friday is the last trading day of the month. Look at your calendars. Friday is the last trading day of the month, and it's a half day. So effectively, 2 days at the end of the month are kind of limited for business, right? Wednesday is actually month end. So anyone who is trying to close positions or modify positions and has size to trade, that's what they're doing. They're working around this 6660 to 6854 rotation. And so for us, our longer term traders, what you want to do is you want to use these levels. For example, say you're shorting, like you were short this morning. You can take a short based on that look above and fail of 67.88 and 3/4, right? That is right around here. So there's a look above and fail. And if you were trading, say you have a 4-hour time frame, say you've got, as they say in Saskatchewan, if you've got the scratch to hold a trade longer, right? You're going to be executing in these 81s. You can use my 88 and 3/4 level, or you could use 81 as your out and start executing, say, your 67.70 short. And on that 4-hour candle, as we come and we break that low here, let me make this bigger. Because what you want to do with these candle charts is you want to make them simple. You don't want to overcomplicate these candles because you don't need to. So you see the bottom of this candle here? Right? That's where the stops are. If this was a 4-hour TPO chart, you'd have a lot of stops. So when we broke that candle low, what happened was anyone who was long above it in a swing time frame started to come out. And that's where the shorts are all waiting and they're buying up the supply. That's why it's kind of going back and forth in these single prints and market profile. Do you guys see that? All right. Let me know if that makes sense to you. Okay. So now what we got to see is when we open, do we open above 67.45 or underneath it? If we do, that's fine because we need liquidation. Liquidation is the spice of life, right? It gives us that smoother price action. Markets are much better when they liquidate. When markets do this for too long, the price action is horrible. You get a good liquidation and then you get some nice back and forth trading that we can take part in. So let's watch this level. Right now, overnight inventory was long and now it is corrected, right? It's underneath the close. Let's see if we can move that point of control down so we absorb that liquidating inventory. And I think we're just going to go back and forth in Friday's range. So we're not going to have any change unless we take out the previous day's high, which we did in Globex. In last night, we took out yesterday's high, but we failed to stay above it. Right? So the sellers stepped in, started to compete and push price lower. Right? So let's see how this area works out. Right? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I think I was supposed to have done the YouTube private today in the afternoon, but I didn't push the right button. Anyway, it's good to see everyone. I'll give you guys a plug for the room in a little bit. Come join us at the Trading Syndicate. Learn how to trade without all the smart guy gibberish, right? We want to make trading less complicated for people so they don't have to like spend years and thousands of dollars. You know, we want people to be able to make a living, right? We take the business and then we show you how to make money using what goes on in the business, right? So you'll see my charts don't have any technical indicators on them. There's no, you know, there's no need for any of that stuff. The structure of the candles tell you the transactions of the market. So right now we have inventory that's long over 57, right? And that's slowly dripping down, and the short sellers are coming in opportunistically and buying down here. So let's go take a look at, we'll zoom in, right? See how we filled in these single prints? Now we're underneath them. So now that we've broken that structure at 38, we're looking for the next set of single prints down here at 29 to 26. Now, why is this happening? We had 2 half-hour periods of short covering here, right? So when you have a bunch of people short covering, that's buying, that holds the market up. Once they have covered, or say you had to buy 5,000 contracts here, and you bought 2,000 of them, and all of a sudden you see Hank and Timo and Kevin, and they come along and they've got big sell orders. What would you do? You would drop your buy orders down here to take advantage of a desperate seller, wouldn't you? Right? Why buy it at 42 if you can buy it at 36? It's a bargain. Right? So that's what we're doing right now. We're going to see where we open. Our point of control in the overnight is, where is it? We went up to 84, then we moved it down to 77. Now, what is it's 1,597 contracts. So now to move value down to show that we're absorbing inventory, we need to print at least 1,600 at one of these levels. Okay, so we're just waiting. And so that's the 4-hour chart. The next big level on the 4 hour is 67.09. But now say we want to trade. Like, we got to dig in now, right? We need to dig in and look at this. So my cost basis tonight was 71 to 78.5. Double it. The discount zone is 67.58 quarter. So that's 2 times discount. 4 times discount takes us to 67.31 quarter, which is right here. Yeah, printing 1,600 contracts at any one of these ticks, S-Pill, is going to move the volume point of control down. Now, why is that significant? It's significant because that means, you know how you take a towel and you twist it and you want to twist out all the water? Well, we're trying to twist out all the sellers and catch them cheap, right? And then take it back up and resell it. See, these markets are speculative. So that means, what does that mean? Well, the futures market is not a market where you have companies buying futures and holding them for 30 years, like an investment in a company, right? So the trading that you see in these markets is speculative trading. It is by large traders who have a lot of money a lot of skill, resources, technology, all of that beautiful stuff, right? So if we had $100 million to trade with, we would have a prime brokerage account, which is kind of like a VIP brokerage account. We would not pay per commission per trade. We would negotiate our commissions at the beginning of the year because our prime broker would take us out for like a nice $5,000-$10,000 meal, right? Buy us a couple of really expensive bottles of wine, and we'd say, look, we're not going to pay any more than $15 million this year in commission. Get it? And we want you to raise us another couple of $100 million. That's how the business works, guys. I've been at those dinners, right? It's very strange when somebody takes you out to dinner and drops 5-6 grand on you, right? And then takes you to a nightclub, and they'll spend 30 grand on you in a night because you give them that in an afternoon in order flow. They'll make that off you in a day, right? My market makers were making $3 to $4 million a month, every month, off the order flow that we gave them. Right? So when you go to New York, they treat you like a king. Right? So this is a very different, those are the people who are moving the markets according to the order flow that comes in. Right? Those are the large prop firms, partnerships, hedge funds, family offices, right? Not just market makers. There are traders who act as market makers. In the old days of the Chicago floor, they were called locals, and they were size traders. You'll see them on YouTube. I mean, on Twitter. You know, they'll show you in their old trading photos in their jackets with their hands up, screaming. They were the locals, right? And they provided liquidity. Now it's all done electronically, and it's much more efficient. See how we're going back and forth in this 38 to 47 range. So let's see what's going to happen. Now it's Monday, and I've got a severe case of weekend brain. So when I have weekend brain, my first desire is to take a market and look at it. And I've been out. I've had doctor's appointments and stuff all morning, so I haven't been around. So what I'm going to do, I've got my levels drawn. I got everything set up and ready to go. What I'm looking for, beautiful trade would be if we open, say, here. And then we'd go underneath the overnight low and then come back up. I'd love to if we do a look below and fail of 31 or a look below and fail of the overnight low, go a little long, put your stop there, sell some here, sell some here. That would be great. Where are the levels? What do you mean, Harris? Does that help? Is that what you were asking? And then they're in front of you. So here. I didn't post them? Yeah. Maybe I didn't post the new ones. Yeah, you're right. I didn't post the new ones. If you don't find the new ones, just scroll back in the chat. And if you're around at all in the Globex session, they're done and posted there. Or just DM me and say, hey, JJ, you forgot to post them in the JJ levels. No problem. I think we're going to move that point of control. We still have 8 minutes before the open. Let's see if we can absorb that inventory down here. What was the point of control? Yeah, 1597. So we need 1598 to print somewhere in here. These numbers here. That's what we're watching. No problem. So like for right now, is there a trade for me to take? No. There's not a trade that fits in my business plan at this time. So, gotta be patient and wait. Because we are retail traders, because we can't be in a trade and be offside 20 grand, 30 grand, 100 grand, we can't afford huge margins of error. So we have to be much more precise in our trade location, which means we have to be much more precise in our analysis, right? But our analysis shouldn't be ridiculously overcomplicated, right? Hey, Mike, how you doing? Hey, good morning, Randy. Welcome. So I use Sierra Chart. And Iron Beam. My impression is that we have to be in front of the screen. Yes, you have. Yeah, the overnight has a ton of opportunity. Now, Harris, sometimes the overnight is slow, okay? Sometimes it's horribly slow. But generally, you can usually squeeze out a little bit of money in the overnight session. It's a great time to learn. It's a wonderful time to learn. You're welcome, Randy. And welcome. If you have any questions, myself or any one of the folks in the room will be happy to help you. You'll find it's a very friendly room, Randy. Yeah. Well, let's get you to stop blowing up accounts, Mike. Hope your back is better. Oh, back surgery. Oh, I don't wish that on my worst enemy. Hope you feel better, brother. Take some time off. You know, the other thing is when you're sick or you're in pain, don't trade. Don't trade sick. Don't trade hungover. Don't trade drunk, right? Don't trade if your wife is yelling at you, right? You know, those are all just leave it alone. Zazu, what's going on? The president is speaking today at 2. Okay, I'll make sure I take a coffee break at 2. All right, a little bit of liquidation here. Pre-open. Ooh, let's try and game the open here. Someone wants paper cheap. Right, I call it paper. I'm old. So if we open underneath these single prints, they're filled. Okay? Remember, generally Fridays, markets tend to get marked up. And it all comes apart like a cheap suit the next day, like, on Monday. As we get down to 67.29, there should be some bids there. Oh, yeah, it probably won't be coffee at 2. Although, if I do get hungry, I will have a cup of coffee instead of eating. Hey, good morning, Gambler XBT. That's right. So, are they releasing NFP on Friday with a half day? Oh, good for them. Remember, on Friday, the markets close at 1. Now, if you're new to trading, don't try and trade the open, right? The open in trading is like if you ever watch bull riding, when the bull comes out of the gate, right? You just let the experienced cowboys deal with that, okay? Because it's Thanksgiving, truth. Thursday is Thanksgiving, which is the biggest holiday of the fall. Bigger than Christmas. It's looking for bids at 29. It's moving kind of quick. You don't have to trade this, right? Let the market come in. Ooh, look at that bid. Look at that bid, right? But I'm not convinced it's a long yet. I will allow them to do their business before I go sticking my nose in their business, right? So balance is cost basis. We're at 4 times cost basis discount. We'll go to 8 so you guys know where the bids are, right? So these single prints are filled, okay? These single prints are filled. Good. Now we wait and we let the market do what? 1, 2, 3, 4, go 5. Just go 5 for now, right? Let the market find the bid, right? Let the market find the bid. You don't need to go find the bid. You don't have the money to do it, right? Or the speed or the skill. Let the large traders find the bid. Once they find the bid, then you can execute. So we know we got sellers here. We know we got sellers here. If you're a short seller and you're short underneath that overnight low, your stop is just above it. Big stops are going to be over that A high. Okay? So what I'm looking for to see is where these short sellers come in hot and heavy looking for product. And I'm going to use my 1 minute chart to tell me. I know that there's going to be sellers here, right? There, the sellers are right there. And then at 38, and then the top of that candle. So if you're long, let's try a little long it. Let's see if we can come back under 37. So this is a look below and fail of the overnight low, the trade I was saying. So a little long at 37, selling 40 half, selling 41, got 4 left, 41 quarter, 41 out of 2 more. I got 2 left, right? I got 2 left with a 38 cost average, and I'm flat. Quick trade. What is its strength period? I never said strength. Look below and fail of the overnight low. So Harris, what happens is you look below and you fail because the sell orders that take you under 32 are complete. Once those sell orders are complete, the market will rotate back up. So what was I doing? I was buying the 37s and the 38s, and I was selling 40, 41, right? Pretty simple, right? Keep it really simple, right? Now you've been with us for a couple of weeks, so rewind these videos over and over again. I know it's boring, but it will really help. You reduce your risk when you wait to buy it once it clears the sellers, right? The chart will tell you everything you need to know without any indicators or all that mumbo jumbo, right? The chart is a pure sales chart. It tells you where the sellers are going to engage. Now, if we clear 41, the next sellers are going to be just around 43 3/4. Like, here we go. Creeping up on them. See those 2 candles with the same top, the red and the blue and the green one? Boom. Now, if those sellers see buyers, they're going to lift their offers. Practice is boring until you figure out how much it helps you. Exactly. Right? Where's our next seller going to be? Right here. That's a beautiful trade. If you're still long, sell into this strength, okay? Don't wait for an invitation because the inventory is above us. Hey, Miami, what's going on? I'll be around on Black Friday because there's nothing going on in Liverpool. So if you guys want to do a session and you're bored, I'll do an early session. Now we're going to creep up to that W high at 52. Harris, do you know what I'm talking about? Did I answer your question? Right? The mechanics and the business of the look below and fail trade are very, very simple. Oh. How's Vancouver, Miami? I know that sounds weird, eh? Yeah, now you have settlement at 55. I mark the close right when the donut shop closes, and that is the last trade of the day. Right? Hey, Peter, thank you. Don't worry about the candle colors. Don't worry about the candle colors. Okay? Just worry about the top of the candle and the bottom. Anne-Marie, I use 67, 65 and a quarter as the close. You see, I always mark the close as the very last trade at 5 p.m. Eastern time because I want to know where they hit all the donuts. That last hour can be very telling sometimes. Not this Friday, Rudy. Thanksgiving, my brother. You're American, right? Look at this, a Canadian telling you guys when the holidays are. Ain't that a kick in the pants? Yeah, next week is Thanksgiving. Hey, all the way up to VWAP. That was quick. That escalated really quickly. Oh, okay, Capitan, it's next week if you're Mexican. Right? Now, Rudy, hermano, let's see if these pendeos can keep it above VWAP, okay? NFP. Thanksgiving, Slicey man. Thanksgiving. Thank you for clarifying that. See, as I thought it's weird that they'd put out NFP on a half day. Thank you, Slicey man. All right, see? There's sellers at VWAP. Now we're going to backfill. What does backfill mean? Right? We go up to create demand. So when a market goes up, people chase it, right? Then you go back to fill in that demand with supply. That's how you sell a lot of contracts, right? Do you ever wonder why they gapped stocks up in the morning and then they crash them? That gap brings in buyers. You know what a gap is like? And please don't take this the wrong way. When I ran a nightclub, I was a bouncer. I would have let all the pretty girls through the door and everybody else would be standing in line for 3 hours. But the lineup would get bigger because they know the club's full of beautiful women. So that gap attracts people. And then we sell into it. You see? It brings in customers. So now, if we can get above 65, your target is 71 and 3/4. Hey, it was a great club. It's how I became a trader. Seriously. Because people would come into the club. I'd do them favors, because I knew they owned brokerage firms or were traders on the floor. And so when I got in the business, they're like, hey, it's the kid from the nightclub who used to let us in the door without charging us $100 a head. Okay, kid, we'll teach you the market. That's how it worked in the old days. That was social media. In the old days, social media and all that networking was done by doing people favors. You do people favors, they remember you. Pretty simple. So now we're going to do a little distribution, right? Distribution. Oh, look at that. Someone's got it. They see that? That's an aggressive seller, right? So now you know that there's an aggressive seller at 65. I was waiting for them to come out of the bushes and hit this thing. I was like, where are they hiding? They're hiding at 65, 64 and 3/4. Jerry, what's up, brother? How you doing? So now if you're still long, like say you were long 38, 44, say you bought 20, 30, 40 contracts, myself, I'd be gone, right? Because, my favorite saying is I never saw a bid I didn't like, right? The way I did business is, JJ, can I show you a bid for 100,000 share? I'm sold before you even give me a price. Sold, right? So if my cost basis is under 44, I will sell it now. And other people will start to see that I'm selling and they'll start to compete. So now let's see, we're going to go back and forth over this 58. And it's going to pretend it's going down. Then it'll bounce. Then it'll keep selling. The more sellers we have compete, right? Now, if you're looking for a short, right, and you're short 55, 56, look for some bids around 51. Didn't quite get there. 54. Okay. There's a seller right here. If we can clear that seller, now we've got those VWAP sellers sitting, coming in, right? Right. So even if I was buying 58, I bought a couple at 58. I am going to sell those. And I am flat. Just for 2 points. I'm trading the micro because I'm really kind of tired. I just want to make sure that I don't give bad advice, so I'm taking these trades. Now, can we clear 65? More distribution. Right? Accumulate, distribute. Accumulate, distribute. That's what gets you guys private planes. Okay? You accumulate and you sell. Right? And if somebody steps in front of you to sell, what do you do? Right? So say you're a seller at 50, 58 and somebody goes 57. What do? You punch them in the throat and you sell 56. Right? Get out of your inventory. Turn it into cash. Don't wait for an invitation to sell your inventory. Or poke them in the eye. Punch them in the throat, poke them in the eye, and hit the bid. Right? That's what traders do. There's that same look above and fail. I don't know. Will we bid 54? So when it goes like this, what I tend to do is I kind of tend to chill out. I made my money already. So I'm just going to let them clean this out, especially when it's not clear. Right? When I'm not clear, and if I'm not really dialed in, I won't trade. Right? That's just me. I will not put money at risk unless I am really dialed in, and that's why I'll take test trades using the micro before I switch to the mini. Today, I maybe slept 2 hours, right? Because the football game was on, and I'm 5 hours, or I'm like 8 hours ahead. So I've been up quite late. I'm on a couple of hours of sleep. So I'll just scalp with the micro. If I'm fully rested and then dialed in, then I can risk a bit more. But I will not risk money unless I am really on my A game. Does that make sense? And you guys should follow that too. If you're not on your A game, you have no business putting money at risk. I hope that makes sense. Because the stuff does not grow on trees. Okay, well done, Mike. Yeah, and I don't trade the NQ. I don't have the blood pressure to trade NQ. It's too thin a market. It's way too thin for me. I don't like thin markets. So the point of control is up here, distribution. What do I mean by a thin market? Go look at the NQ order book and see how much is bid and offered on each side. ES is 30 to 40. The ES is thin today. If you look at the ES contract, it's 30 to 50 a tick. That's not really thick, right? So when you look at your order book, you know all those people who look at the DOM, JJ, do you use the DOM? Do you use the DOM? Use the DOM for what it really tells you. If it tells you that there's not a lot of orders on each side, you're going to have some volatility. When the order book is thick, you'll get much more stable trading. You've had a nice day already? Now, Lear, you've been trading. This is a great question. And we should run that through the AI. And your setup shows itself. Yeah, sure, Anne-Marie. I'm just trying to access the AI because I can't get into it this morning. Let me try. Okay, I'll check in with Steve. So the prompt is this. 1 second here. So the prompt is, I've made a nice day already. Do I quit or trade micro, or what should I do? That's the prompt. We're still distributing, folks. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to reset this thing. I'll have to check it out later. So, ultimate target right now is 71. I'll have to worry about that later. There's 71. Now we're back in that cost basis. So now, that overnight POC never moved down. Interesting, huh? Quite an exciting A period. Do you see what I'm telling you guys about rotation? You know, that rotation that you get. And what is the rotation about? We are rotating inventory. That's what the rotation is about. Okay? Yeah, I'll have to play with that. Should we go look at NVIDIA while we're waiting for this to correct? Let's see how NVIDIA is doing. 188. So much for the crash. Trust the charts, ladies and gentlemen. Don't listen to idiots on Twitter. Okay? Let the chart tell you what's going to happen. Okay? Hey, Christian, how you doing? Cancel crash. You know, okay. So Dr. Michael Bublé sold his stock or his short, right? Peter Thiel came out of his position, and so did SoftBank. Let's not forget that SoftBank was long WeWork until the cows came home. Okay? If you really get worried about a stock, ladies and gentlemen, these big stocks, look at BlackRock, look at Vanguard, look at Geode, look at Fidelity, look at State Street, look at institutions that manage trillions of dollars who are holding the stock for 30 or 40 years. If they're not coming out of it, right, maybe you should just trust the chart instead of what all these idiots are talking about. Because I know it's you know it's popular, it gets likes. Thanks, Sodbuster. Now, once again, all those people who are short, under 67, 54, 52, they're trapped. This market has been specifically created and curated and trimmed like a bonsai tree to go long, right? There's no reason to be shorting this on a long-term basis. Not unless you've got billions of dollars to play with. And if you had billions of dollars, you wouldn't be playing. You'd be doing business. Nobody plays with $1 billion. None of this is random. Now I'm old. Does anybody remember 2005? Does anybody remember what happened in 2005? It's a very, very major rule change. Reg SHO. No naked short selling. That changed the way people do business. It was the precursors that set up what you are seeing now. Changed the rules. In 1999, BlackRock had 160 billion under management. Now it's got 13.5 trillion. When they buy a position, they don't have to borrow money to do it. So they're not subject to margin calls. Okay? If you have $13 trillion, you pay for your stock in cash. So if you see BlackRock sell everything that they own, then you're going to see a massive correction. Now, what would they need to do that? They need a material change. Do you guys know what a material change is? You guys know what a material change is? When a company has a material change to their earnings, they put out what we call an 8K, right? So material change is like, say, Apple, right? If Apple one day goes, you know what? We're not going to sell electronics anymore. We're going to sell stuffed animals. That's a material change. That's going to affect the earnings. Exactly. A major change outside of normal business. No such thing yet. Or a material change to the economy. Like the new Apple sock. All right, here's B period. Man, that was a long A period. I had to do something to keep you guys interested. We're distributing above VWAP. Okay. I'm watching and I'm kind of trying to see where our next trades are. It's really choppy here. You notice that? We're in distribution. It's choppy. It's a little slower. The candles are smaller. See you, Zazu. Have a good one. See, I won't trade this right now, right? There's no reason for me to put money to work here. The agenda is not clear. When the agenda is clear, when the market gives you the terms and conditions under which you do business, then you execute. Until the market satisfies the terms and conditions under which you take a trade, there is no reason for you to take a trade. All these things like FOMO and revenge trading and all of that stuff, those are just excuses that we have made up over time for bad business discipline, right? Instead of calling it bad business discipline, they call it FOMO. Instead of bad business discipline, they call it revenge trading, right? Instead of calling it bad discipline and lacking understanding and discipline, they call it, you know, revenge trading. There's no excuse for all that stuff. That is just bad business discipline. Now, the distribution cost basis is around 62, 67, 62. So, which is just where VWAP is. Ooh, what a coincidence. See? So they're selling above. If the market is really desperate, they'll sell under and they'll come down to 58 and a quarter. You guys kind of getting what I'm talking about? Does it make sense? It needs to make sense. Okay? All this stuff has to make sense. Otherwise, it's no good. It's got to make sense. There's nothing that we are doing that is so super complicated that this stuff doesn't make sense. All we're doing is moving inventory back and forth. Right? Patience is key because we got to know what the other size traders are doing. Thank you, Anne-Marie. We love having you in our room. We're very grateful to you. Alrighty. So when it's not clear, I don't like to trade. I'll sit and watch. This could be a look below and fail at 58. But we've jammed all these people with inventory, right? We sold all these poor folks' inventory up here. So now we're going to get a little bit of selling pressure. So let's see what the next agenda is. I don't do the look above and fail of VWAP. You could though. If VWAP is nice and flat S pill, then definitely go for it. If VWAP is moving around a lot, it's kind of hard to have your stop there. You know what I mean? But it's fairly calm. So I mean, if you're short and you put your stop above VWAP, fair game. There is nothing wrong with that. So you use my 58 and a quarter level as a warning, and VWAP up at 62 as your out, right? So like 58 and a quarter is your lookout offer, right? So say you're short 57, 56, as it comes down here into the 51s, cover a little bit. That's a beautiful trade. Beautiful, beautiful. So Jerry, you just want to do exactly what I told you to do, brother. Don't change anything, okay? See, that's a nice short. Good call, S-Pill. Good call. And we're all the way back down. Now, remember what did I tell you at the beginning of the session? I told you that this market is rotational, right? It's going to rotate back and forth. There we go. And now we're rotating back down. We rotated up, 31 to 72, 73. Now rotation back down. Let's see where we find the bid. You're gonna get the I'm on, brother, but we're gonna have they're gonna get me, they're gonna make me go private again. I screwed up today by doing a public YouTube, but I kind of like it because I miss you guys. Come join the room when you feel better. Don't do it right now, but come join the room when you feel better and you can concentrate. Okay? I do in the morning. I do the Globex sessions for everyone, and these RTH sessions are supposed to be for only people who are joined the room. But I clicked the wrong button in the morning, and sorry, not sorry, right? I like having you guys on, but we'd like you guys to join the room. Give it a shot. See if you like it. DM me when you get in there, right? Steve's always running some kind of a deal or a special. And then you have access to me all the time. No problem, Sogbuster. Oh boy. Now we're creeping back up on that 58 quarter, right? Hmm. Back and forth, back and forth. The longer you look at charts, the more observations you can make about how the whole thing works and moves. Exactly. Now, Harris, if I came into your operating theater and I said, listen, man, I said, hey, Malaka, I want to do some brain surgery and make a quick 30 grand. You'd have me committed to the psych ward, wouldn't you, if I said something like that? So how can people come into a place where skill is required, right, and think they can just walk out of a stock market with 30 grand? See what I mean? Right? I told you that you'd start seeing this, right? I told you you'd get it. You just need a framework you can work in, and that's what we do at tradingsyndicate.org. We give you a framework in which you can execute on a simple business plan where you can manage your risk and make yourself a living. It's going to take some time, but so does everything that's good, right? I mean, you're not going to be able to hop on, you know, a Grand Prix motorcycle and be able to like race in the Grand Prix. You're not going to be able to get into, Ferrari's F1 car and drive around the circuit. You probably won't, like, I wouldn't even fit in the damn thing, right? Much less be able to get it around a lap, right? It's a skill, right? Trading is a skill. Take some time, develop your skill, try and enjoy the process because it makes it less frustrating if you enjoy it. And embrace the frustration. God knows it never goes away. You will do better, but then there will be times when this market will drive you absolutely, completely nuts. Just take your time. Be be easy on yourself, folks. Don't force yourself to try and make money. It'll come, right? Build it, they will come. Right? That's the saying that I stole from Dances with Fleas or Dances with Wolves or whatever the hell it was. No, Field of Dreams, right? Build it, they will come. That's what we always used to say when we're doing a deal. You build a nice chart, the investors, the traders will come to a nicely built chart. Same with your trading career. You build it, the money will come. I would recommend Sierra Chart, Harris. I am a big believer in Sierra Chart. Ninja Trader is good too, right? Whatever software you're using, you want to know the software intimately, right? You want to know how to manipulate the software, how where to put, like you don't want to stumble around. Like for right now, if I said to you guys, right, let's take a look at order entry, right? So if I said to you, give me a 49 quarter bid, 48 quarter stop, you should have that order in by the time I'm finished putting in the saying it. If you're fumbling around, yeah, you can do paper trading in Sierra. It's called sim, right? If you're fumbling around, that's no good, right? If I said 67, 52 and 3/4 bid, 51 and 3/4 stop, my orders are already in, right? You should be fast, right? A slow trader is a useless trader, right? They're of no use to anyone. Why? Because this is a business of speed. Even if you're swing trading, you should be able to execute quickly and know your craft. Know where the buttons are on the DOM, right? Back in the old days, we had 30 seconds to put in a trade, and that was calling them in. I could hit 6 bids simultaneously using phone lines, right? Phone only rang once. If your phone rings more than once, you're fired. If you miss a fill, you're fired. But there's no, that sense of urgency is what you guys need to practice, right? Learn how to do things quickly. Learn how to use your trading software. Learn your setup. Do it over and over and over again. Do the grunt work. You know where trading, where the battle is won in this business? The battle is won in all those boring details and discipline, all the crap that you hate. All the crap that I hated as a kid is what made me money in this business. I have never seen anybody just wing it and make money trading. Sierra is amazing because it's not a resource pig, right? You can use Sierra on an old computer and it works perfectly. Now, it looks like it was made in 1986 because it was. But I've also never crashed it. The only time I crashed Sierra chart was when I tried to load too many ticks on a Bitcoin chart. Can you zoom in and explain how you look? I'm going to be doing a profile 101, Harris, on Wednesday at 11 o'clock Eastern, which for us in the UK is around 4. Okay? Don't worry so much about the profile chart for now. You should just focus on this 1 minute chart and drawing balance zones. Yes, I will be doing a 1 hour webinar live at 11 o'clock for the folks in the room on how to use market profile in a practical manner. Now, I know there's a lot written about market profile, but it's very hard to trade profile. And the old guard does not tell you where to take the trade, why to take the trade, and the business reason for it. I do that. I make profile practical. There's about 3 or 4 things that's all you need from market profile. And if you get those things down, right, those things are like poor high, poor low, single prints, where's the cost basis, right? Those things are what's important. How to execute around those things and the decision to take the trade, right? Our trading analysis, because execution has to be done quickly, right? So when you're executing, you can't have too much analysis going through your head. It clogs the head, right? It slows up the flow. You need to be able to execute. Like, for example, if you were flying in a plane and the pilot came on and he said, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hit some turbulence and I really don't know what to do. So I'm going to bring out the manual. Can you guys just hang on for dear life and maybe we'll make it, maybe we'll die. Good luck to you all. That doesn't really instill a lot of confidence, right? So a pilot, and Lear, you can back me up on this because you fly planes for a living, a pilot has been trained to respond to situations. So you need to be able to be trained to respond when a market does something. When you're set up, you need to be able to, execute those physical directions and executions without overthinking because you've been trained to do so. You're also trained to cut risk without thinking. So you're not going, oh, what should I do? And hem and haw. The longer you hesitate when you're in a bad trade, the worse it's going to get, right? Learn how to execute quickly. Learn how to cut risk quickly. Learn how to use your software. Learn under what conditions do you do business when those conditions present themselves. You execute ruthlessly, right? When those conditions do not present themselves, you chill out, right? So you're not always in a fight or flight state. You want to use trading psychology to keep you from losing money. Trading psychology is useless after you've blown up your account, right? So how do you use trading psychology? You be smart and you only do business when business conditions are optimized for the kind of account and skill level that you trade at, right? Because everybody who trades and loses money, they're trying to hold trades for 30, 40 points. They're trying to make 50 grand a day with a $5,000 account. You can't do it. You've got to trade your level of skill, and we'll teach you that. Now, the trades that I teach you how to do in our room, I teach you on a 1 minute chart, and I teach you the business reason for that. Now, those trades are scalable in time and size, which means you can take what you learn and scale it up as your level of skill and your money grows. A poor low is where you have buying competition. A weak low is the same thing. A poor low is the way it looks. A weak low is its location. So a poor low has less than 2 ticks of excess. A weak low could be if the market goes to the previous day's low, stops and turns around. Either way, see, these market profile guys, they've overcomplicated it, right? They should be only one thing. Poor low, weak low, it doesn't matter. There's buyers competing at that level and the price is going to go up from there, right? Because the sellers see buyers lining up, they move their prices up. Very simple. Do you understand how that works, Animal Hustle? Doesn't matter if it's poor or if it's weak, right? They shouldn't have two terms for it. It's just overcomplicating crap for no reason. That is a poor low. It is a low that has two ticks of excess, like a double bottom. All that means is when we got down here, the sellers pretend that this is a glass door, and the sellers are looking through the glass door and they see people all lined up there. So when they get down there, they just go, psych, we're going to make you pay more, and the buyers come running in. That's all it is. Why not explain it that way so people can understand it instead of coming up with like really sort of obtuse definitions? Don't short a poor low, right? It's the same. All it means is there's buyers competing there. There's no reason to, you know, overcomplicate it. Right? A poor low, I mean, you listen to it. Auction ends in simple exhaustion. Exhaustion is similar to running. Just say buyers are competing at a poor low and sellers are competing at a poor high. Keep it simple so people can understand. Right? I want to keep it simple so people can make money. Right? So you're not focused on memorizing terms and patterns and yada, yada, yada. Right? You come in, you make some money, you go hang out with your family, and you have a good day. That's what I care about. Okay? Good stuff, Jerry. See you tomorrow. So what's the trade, right? What's the practical trade here, right? So you buy this, you put your stop here, and you sell into strength as the market goes up. Yeah, exactly. If you overcomplicate it, then you can justify the price of the courses. And you can keep people on the hook for years, right? That's why my mentoring is a one-time fee and I mentor you for life, right? So in 5 years, and my health is pretty good, right? My girlfriend's a doctor. She's taking care of me. So once you pay me for mentoring, it's for life. I will work with you every day and I will haunt you until you're profitable, right? It's got to be practical, right? Keep it simple, keep it practical, right? Get paid. I want you guys to get paid. And I am out of time. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Come visit us at thetradingsyndicate.org, right? I will drive you nuts until you're profitable. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful trading day. Be safe out there, okay? Wait for your setup. Don't let them sell you some bag of nuts. Wait for the proper setup. If you don't know what that is, reach out to me, okay? Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.